From the city of angels. I can't remember if I played this track before, but it's funny because I was thinking about playing it at some point and I realized it's titled Last Dance. How perfect is that for tonight? Nikki Elizabeth, Electronica, and Juna Beast, Above and Beyond's label. Guys, remember, I used to be a house music DJ, so of course I listen to stuff. That's what I love. Anything electronic, I'm down for. I'm not down for this movie, though. Good God! Why do I put myself through this shit? Seriously, guys, fucking hell on earth tonight. Hell on earth. So I need to put myself in a good mood and listen to some uplifting music here tonight. Live on MMT from the City of Angels. We are ready to do this. It is the MMT evaluation of Venom, The Last Dance. As always, we are live. We do not tape. We do not read teleprompters. This shit happens when it happens. So if you are not watching live, you need to get the alerts via YouTube. And that is our channel. Look for Midnight Movie Talk. If you're watching on X, welcome to you there on YouTube. Thanks for being here tonight, as always. Get ready. It's going to be fun because this film's fucking hell. But yet I was told by people it's fun. Tom Hardy being a goofball, doing his mumblecore thing. All right, guys, here we go. Let me turn the music down and get ready to pop me up live from the City of Angels. It's time to do it. Here we go. It is game time on this Thursday night as we have hopefully the conclusion and the final Venom film that I ever have to sit through. It is titled The Last Dance, so I'm praying that they hold true to that and not force me to endure another one of these films. Tonight was by far the most painful of the three, because we talk about this all the time, right? When you watch any given film for the first time, there's the novelty factor. Everything feels fresh and new, and here's Tom Hardy and the goofy alien symbiote as he is one with this creature, and they wreak havoc on people across the globe, even though he's really a good guy, right? But by the third one of these, you're just like, why are we here? Well, I can tell you why we're here, because guess what? This film made the first one 800 plus million worldwide. The second film 500 plus worldwide. This film is not going to do as well. We'll talk about that in a moment, but let's get started with the out of theater. You guys love my selfies, so I mean, I like them too. I'm not going to lie to you. It's always fun when I am truly brutalized by a film and I can try to capture it in one frame. I mean, this really is, again, what else do I need to say? This is it, right? I mean, here we go. I watched it in 3D because why not? When you have AMC A-list, right? I was like, I don't need to see this in IMAX. It's fucking gonna be bad. I knew it wasn't gonna be any fun. So I said, let's just do 3D. At least maybe I'll get something from that, right? Look, there's Venom's face right up in your grill as you sit there in the theater, and his tail as it whips around, and his octopus arms. It didn't help. It didn't help at all. Let's go ahead and watch just a bit of the trailer, because if you have no idea what we're talking about, I don't know where you've been. But it's time to watch a little bit of the brutalizingly torturous Venom, The Last Dance. Let's pray it is.
I thought we'd seen the worst of it. Carnage, riot. But none of them prepared us for him. No, the god of the symbiotes.
What you think you know, what you hold so dear.
My home has found us. We have something my creator needs. There's a key that would free him.
Everything you fear.
I will annihilate your world.
When the thunder starts.
There's an army coming that cannot be beaten.
We may not make it out of this alive, buddy.
You're just another name under the sun. Like a bullet from our gun. Like a bullet from our gun.
I can't take anymore. I gotta stop. I just sat through this. Luckily, it's a little under 2 hours. By the way, the end credits on this film are like 15 minutes long. So whatever the runtime is, subtract roughly 10 to 15 minutes. I'm not kidding you. I sat through the entire thing just because, of course, there's going to be that final end credits, right? There's the mid and then there's the final. We'll maybe discuss that. I mean, is there any point? But let's get to why this is sheer and utter hell, as I suggested in my selfie reaction. The one thing that you always hate in a film that's supposed to be popcorn, fun, and just turn your brain off and enjoy it. No, you're going to get tons of exposition dumped upon you. Right when you walk into this film, you've got the evil Megatron-ish guy, whoever he is. Guys, I'm not a comic book nerd. Don't ask me to tell you what the folklore is of this shit. And he's like, I'm going to track down Venom and get this magical gem thing that's embedded in the neck. Do you see where we're already at? Do you see what I'm saying? I'm like, why am I doing this to myself? The lady next to me, I was at the 8, which is the smaller kind of, it's in the mall theater and it has a recliner, so I was happy there. The lady next to me was yawning within the first like 5 minutes of the movie. I hear this audible, but what the fuck? She's like half awake already. We're 5 minutes into this shit. And by the way, she also had a whole bunch of stuff with her. I don't know if she came off the street or what. I'm like, what is going on? I have to sit through this, and then I have this woman next to me. Where'd she come from? But right when you start this thing, you've got exposition being dumped upon you. And then we end up in road trip hell for the next hour and a half as Eddie and Venom make their way to New York City, and they first catch a ride on the side of a 747, which is in and of itself dumb as hell. And then from there, we get to them crash landing in the desert. And then they have to get on a horse, which you saw in the trailer. And Venom turns the horse into an alien horse. And they run crazy through the desert with Queen playing in the background. At this point, I'm like, it's just ended. No, we're only like 20 minutes in. You've got a lot more to go. Then Eddie stumbles upon a family of Area 51 alien freaks. They're out there to find Area 51 because this film ties that in. They're closing Area 51, so you have to end up there underground in the base that's hidden below Area 51. Do you see this isn't any fun. None of this is any fun. All you are is ferried from goofball sequence to goofball sequence with exposition. and then you get eventually to Vegas, and guess who's in Vegas? The woman who owns the convenience store, right? And she's like, Eddie, Mr. Eddie. And then they dance to, what the hell did they dance to? Some ABBA song. Oh my God. They danced to Dancing Queen from ABBA. And then it turns into a techno version of that, and they're dancing up in her suite because she's hit it rich. This film is so terrible. Whoever writes this shit, I'm telling you, how do you sleep well at night? How do you sleep at night knowing you wrote this dog shit film? How do you do that? Like, how do you show your face? I want to know who wrote this, and I want to track them down, and I'm going to go find them, and I'm going to berate them, and I'm going to film it. I'm going to film my like TMZ style guerrilla attack of whoever wrote this shit film. By the way, I'm not even getting into Soups tonight. The shill of all time. I'm not getting Soups in here talking about his tweet saying this is a blast. It's the best of the Venom films. That motherfucker. I swear to God, if I see you, Soups, we're going to throw down. I'm tired of reading your shit and then sitting through a film that's the antithesis of everything you say. And I'm in the same town, so it can happen. God damn, this film's terrible. And then you also have, what else do I have in here? Well, it's generally just brain dead entertainment. But can I also say that I'm not a huge fan of, I like Ted Lasso, but I've had just about enough of Juno Temple. Am I the only person who's had enough of Juno Temple? Can we start a new kind of, we can maybe, what is that? We need to have a petition that I can get online where we have a ceasefire with anything with Juno Temple in it for like 5 years. I need 5 years away from this woman. Mo Weber's being anti-feminist. He's a bastard. I just said Juno Temple. Where's Michelle Williams? She's not in this film. I have Juno Temple. Juno Temple needs to eat a hamburger while she's at it. Good God, she's skinny. She's so thin. I'm like, damn, girl, how do you even function being so skinny? But it's just, I'm done. And you've also got other people in this film. First of all, you got Tom Hardy doing his mumblecore shit, right? Goofy lines with Venom dropping F-bombs and, oh, I'm gonna eat him. I'm gonna eat him. Give me his head. The opening scene, he's in Mexico and he runs across these gang members and then Venom tears their heads off. This is PG-13, by the way. He eats their heads. I mean, they deserved it because they're bad gang members. But it's PG-13. Now we've just completely forgotten about rating. Doesn't matter. There's blurring the line. Doesn't matter. The only thing that doesn't get you an R is when Art the Clown savages and dismembers a 10-year-old kid and leaves arms and legs on the room and the floor, right? That's okay. Well, actually, that didn't even get R, but it's okay to show in a movie theater. That's totally fine. I'll just defend that all day. Also, can I talk about Chiwetel Ejiofor? I think I said that. Chiwetel Ejiofor. By the way, if I got that right, I want some love. He used to be like an awards guy. He was in good movies, and he shows up in this shit. And Reese Fans, how do you say that guy's name? You know, the English guy that was in Notting Hill. He's in this. He's the family. He's the father is going looking for Area 51. But between Chiwetel and Reese, like, you all fallen down so far. Do you need paychecks and shit to show up in this? This is terrible. This film is really bad. This is a 2% for me. 2%. Better than 1. I don't know why. Only because I watched it in 3D do I give it an extra 1%. Just for the hell of it. I can't give everything a 1%. This is terrible. You guys, this is not where I don't want to do this shit anymore. Why do you make me watch this shit? Menzel gave it 5 stars. I hope he was kidding, Rob. I hope that he was totally joking. Because if he's not joshing, then we got a problem. I'm gonna find him, and we're gonna have throw fists, just like me and my boy Soups. Well, because we're on the topic, I'm gonna make him my guy again, right? Coming up on Sunday, he'll be our clown of the week, our show of the week, clown of the week. But I do need to at least find it because I'm just gonna rip on it for a second. Just give me a second. I gotta find it. I think Gone Girl sent it to me, sent me the tweet. I didn't ask for it. I didn't want to see it. I just went, okay, here it is. Where is it? Good Lord. I don't know where it is. It's here somewhere. Did you send it to me? Okay, here it is. I got it. You guys ready? Let's read Soups' reaction to Venom: The Last Dance. And then I can just this fucking kid. You guys, I get so much shit from film Twitter. Weber this, Weber that. He's this and that. And you got this motherfucker out there, Matt Ramos, Soups, spreading a bunch of bullshit about best movie ever, calling this film, it's fun, it's the best Venom movie by far, it's the funniest, most emotional, best story, takes all the silliness we love and fully embraces it full force. Did you enjoy the two of them dancing to ABBA in the penthouse in Vegas? Fucking dumb, man. What? This is a movie for sub 50 IQ motherfuckers. And that sounds like Matt Ramos, doesn't it? He's a sub 50 IQ. So it makes a lot of sense. I was actually just going to be chill tonight, and then I realized how angry I was when I came out of this movie again. It happens so often in 2024. I just come out of these movies and I want to just get carnage. There's going to be carnage in the lobby when I come out of this thing. By the way, I want to say hi to Robert, who was in the hall. When I came out, Robert was there. He's watching another movie. He's a big fan of MMT. And he says, Eric, I watch you all the time. I love how you destroy films, so keep doing it. So, Robert, here for you, this is what we're doing tonight. It's not ever planned. None of these things. It's always organic, guys. I don't come into this with an axe to grind. This is a great question. Venom 3 or Anora? Venom 3 shorter, so I'd watch Venom 3 again before I sat through Anora. By the way, Gone Girl, find the comment. Someone has a comment about Anora that was really good. We can still talk about this for a few minutes. I'm not going long tonight, guys. This is just going to be tight. Once I watch something like this, I need to just forget about movies for a few days. And the thing that also sucks about sitting through Venom is that I'm behind on films I want to see. I want to see Conclave, and I want to see that snail movie, the stop motion animation thing. I want to see those. Robert was going to see that. Smart. Didn't see fucking this. I have to watch these films because they're the big films. So of course Weber has to. And then why do I watch this stuff? I should be watching Conclave. I should be watching the snail movie. I should not be watching Venom 3. But we'll get to those on Sunday. I'm going to try to get to at least one, probably Conclave, probably Snail 2. 2 movies on Sunday night. Just watched Nora. Very disappointed. Some great moments. I love the performances. The entire second act was so needlessly drawn out and exhausting. Thank you, Friendly Pup. You saw the same movie. If you now finally get to see Anora. Neon's giving it to you in more places. You need to see it. Go watch my stream, and then you'll be like, Weber's the man. Again, not Sean Fennessy, the fucking fraud. That guy is the Dak Prescott of the film space. I've said it before. That's his title. Send it to him and tag me. Dak Prescott. Film Twitter. That's my boy, Sean Fennessy. Loves everything that Film Twitter loves. Oh, it's so great. And Nora, really? When they put her on the couch and you have to listen to them go back and forth with her and bitch, where's the kid? If you haven't seen the movie, just wait until they break into the house and you're on the couch for, I kid you not, 20 minutes plus as they gag her and she's bitch. Can I say one thing I didn't really rail on with Nora as much as I should? And we talked about this with Sean Baker. Sean Baker, the writer, is terrible. He's not just bad. He's fucking terrible. Okay. Sean Baker, you cannot write. Our script, God, it's way better than Nora. It's not even a contest. And go ahead and clip this, send it to Sean Baker. I don't care. This is a terrible screenplay. And let me tell you the other thing that also makes this even worse. When you have your character who is, I've got to go back after Anora because I'm going to destroy this film as much as I can this year. If this is a Best Picture, even a nomination, let alone a winner, this is going to be a nuclear meltdown that you've never seen. This is worse than Everything Everywhere by far. Anora is the most overvalued film that we have seen in the marketplace, if not ever, within the top 1% of overvalued films in the history of cinema. This film has no business masquerading as an awards film. Zero business. I don't care if it won Palm. I don't give a shit. That's a grotesque win for this film. It should have been Substance, speaking of grotesque. But when you talk about the main character, Mikey, you're talking about, right, a sex worker / stripper / hooker / whatever you want to call her. She is so unlikable in this film. And that gets back to, I blame it on Mikey, but then I think about it, it is Mikey a little bit. She's still got to find the level, right? But it's also on Sean. He's got to write moments where she's likable. He doesn't throughout. And at the end, when she starts crying and she's humping the guy in the car, fuck this movie. Oh my God, I fucking hate Anora. I hate this movie. I hate it in a way that you guys do. Now, the more and more I sit on this film, if I could get my hands on the actual print of Anora, I would burn it. That's how fucking terrible this movie is. And I'm being told it's the Best Picture. Can I just tell you that you have to write to make her likable? She's completely unlikable. And guess what? I'm going to tie it together again. We're going to savage Sean Baker again, even though he's a theatrical champion. We love you for it. Florida Project. What's the problem with that film? Brooklyn Prince, the little girl, one note bitch, unlikable because he didn't write levels. He doesn't know how to write. He doesn't give four-dimensional characters. He gives one note, annoying, arguing, bitchy people. It's terrible. Sean, get a fucking writer. It's not even up for debate. It's fucking embarrassing. That film is so terrible. Okay, I'm done. I didn't want to do it again. Listen, she can get whatever nomination you want. I'm just telling you that anything that Enora wins during Oscars, if you want to do a nomination, I'm done. If it wins a single fucking Oscar, it's the biggest fraud and biggest overvaluing of a film in the history, way worse than Everything Everywhere, which actually has some good going for it until it's actually destroyed in that back half. And Nora has not a single element outside of the opening song. The Take That remix is the only thing that is good about Enora, and I will be proven right in history. I'm going to be proven right, just like I was with Everything Everywhere, overrated. Coda, TV movie. I'm right every time. Babylon, piece of shit film, garbage, fucking garbage. Tonal disaster, 2 good scenes, the rest of it's terrible. I'm always right. It gets tiring, but the reality is when you're objective and you're talented, you win and the other people lose. And Nora's so great. All right, open comment time. Let's go. Couple comments. If you want to bring back, I already savaged. I don't really want to discuss any more Venom. We can do a few open comments and then we're out of here. It's a short stream time. I'm only going to go 30 minutes. You have 10 minutes. I think Weber's possessed by symbiote tonight. Listen, the problem is listen, the show's always live. You guys know that. And I don't ever, when I sat down tonight, I just wanted to talk about, here's Venom. And then all of a sudden I saw someone come in and say, I watched Enora, and I'm like, okay, now I've got to do it again. Because I have to, when you live in a world full of narratives that are bullshit, and we live in a world full of narratives that are bullshit, I cannot enough hammer against the propaganda that is out there. I'm only talking about movies. I'm not going to talk about everything else. Trust me, I could do that too. The propaganda that Enora is a great film is bullshit, and I'm not going to stand for it. I'm not standing for it. There's a 0% chance I'm standing for it. And over time, you're all going to see that people are going to come back and go, what the fuck were we doing with Enora? And I'm telling you, I will be right again. It's going to happen. So be ready for it to come around. The Brutalist, it's funny that you mentioned the Brutalist here tonight. I was brutalized by both Enora and by Venom, and I don't know about The Brutalist yet, but I know it's almost 4 hours. I have had multiple invites to see this film. I am putting it off because here's the reality. I'm not going to sit into a basic theater without a recliner for 4 hours. I sat through Horizon this year at 3 hours plus, right? And a recliner, and it was still hell. Even if The Brutalist is a great film, and I have a feeling it's a very good film, if that's the case, I still want to be in a recliner. Why would I want to go sit inside cramped quarters and sit through a 4-hour movie and be around these people that I think have zero talent and are some of the weirdest people? I don't want to be around these people. Why do you think I go to the 8 so I can sit next to the woman who appeared to bring all of her possessions into the room? I'd rather hang out with her than any one of these quote critics who have not a fucking clue. They're so untalented. It's not even funny. The people in this space that have talent is sub 1%. Sub 1%, even lower than tonight's score for Venom. So that's how bad it is. The Brutals will probably win screenplay, director, and picture because the geezers in the Academy will be confused about which form is Nora and which is Amelia Perez. I'm saving all of my destroy Netflix Venom again. Speaking of Venom, for Sunday night. We're going to do another stream talking about how Variety says Amelia Perez, the front runner. Can, Netflix finally get it done? No, because they don't have a theatrical component. We'll talk about that. Also, Wuthering Heights goes to Warner Brothers, not to Netflix. More good news. That's all Sunday night. I want to save that. So let's not do that tonight. That's on Sunday. Got to have something to talk about on Sunday. We'll have a review of Conclave and hopefully Death of a Snail or whatever the snail thing is. That one. So hopefully we'll have both of those. Also, quick update on the script. It's done. That's all I'm going to say. You're not going to hear me talk about it until you see it. It's going to happen. I'm 100% certain. The Brutalist will win screenplay, director, picture because yeah, we already read that. So here's the thing, though. When you look at The Brutalist, you're talking about a film that right now feels like it is the front runner. And if anyone says it's a Nora, they're fucked. Okay, so just know they don't know what they're talking about. They have no idea what they're talking about. A couple more comments, and we're out of here on this Thursday night, and we'll come back on Sunday for the Sunday night show. Had an awesome time at Reitman Saturday night last night. The flick had teeth. Jeff, it's a good film. It's one of the better films of the year. Disappointment is that it did not do well in the expansion, right? Remember, they opened that up New York, LA, and they platformed it there. Then they went a little bit wider on the platform. Then they went wide, and then it just kind of fizzled out. The problem is, we've talked about it so often here on MMT. These small films, like a Saturday night, like look at Conclave coming out this weekend. These films are dead because now what the studios have done is trained you that you're going to get it at home. I don't need to go over that for the 100th time here. What am I saying? 100th, 1000th time. Here's the reality is that when you watch a film like a Saturday night, which I really like, I think it's entertaining. Is it as deep maybe as it needs to be? Is it more surface level? Fine. But it's still fun. It's more fun than I had. It's certainly in Anora. Oh my God, way more. So you look at that film not doing well, and it speaks to the issue we have, which is smaller films are in trouble. We've talked about it. Go back and watch my stream from, I think, last Sunday, right? Or is it 2 Sundays? We always talk about it. It seems like every week because it is major concern. When you have a film like Saturday Night, like Conclave coming in here, like a Brutalist, even though that's A24 and that's not expected to be that big because it's such a niche film at that runtime especially. But either way, when you start talking about these adult dramas, these awards films, essentially everything we're getting right now is viewed under the lens of awards films, right? That's what the studios do because they know this is the time you want to get them out because now we're getting into voting very soon. And once November hits, we're really hitting that prime. It's time to really separate the wheat from the chaff and get this thing going. What's a pretender and what's a contender, right? So all that's happening right now. But it's alarming, that film didn't do as well as I expected. But I really shouldn't be that surprised, and neither should you, because these films are viewed by moviegoers as watchable at home. And because of that, that's why you have these lower averages that we're seeing on these films. By the way, breaking box office every Sunday. Join us for that. That is Sunday morning. We try to go every time about a little after noon on the East Coast, 9 o'clock here, straight off the emails from the studios. We have the numbers and we'll spin them the way they should be spun, not the way that you're being told from THR Variety Deadline. We'll tell you the real truth of the numbers. That's coming up. Nickel Boys is on my agenda. In fact, I actually just booked a screening of that, but it's not until December. This year, I'm not running around town. I'm telling you right now, I'm not running across town to watch these films. It's just I'm not that interested in them. And frankly, I did it for so many years. I'm comfortable watching them when they're here in Burbank. Nickel Boys is actually going to play at a screening room here in Burbank. Perfect. I don't have to go far. For me to drive 45 minutes across town to Beverly Hills, which I've done plenty of times last year, go back to The Holdovers, go back to so many films I saw there in Beverly Hills. There's a couple screening rooms there. I went this year, I've seen what over there, Long Legs and something else. But I don't do a lot of those because the reality is that when they're so early on the screenings, me discussing them and breaking them down like we just talked about Venom, it's going to be a spoiler. You're going to be like, it's not out for 2 more months. Well, then that's the problem. So I'd rather just wait. And frankly, it's a waste of gas. It's a waste of my time to drive across town and sit there with, again, people I don't want to be around. I've told you guys that 100 times. I don't want to see these people. They're guys, you don't understand the disconnect, the level of value these people have for themselves versus the level they actually output is so fucking, the chasm is unbelievably, it's so wide. They believe that they have talent. It's such a level of delusion that I can't even comprehend it, but that's what we're dealing with. There's a lot of people in the space that are just, I mean, listen, they're terrible. They're terrible at it. And that's being as nice as possible. So the reality is that I'm just not going to see these films until they come out in Burbank. It's just easier for me, right, guys? A couple more minutes, we're out of here. I said 30 minutes, so I'm going to give you a little bit after, and that's it. A couple more comments, Gone Girl, push them, anything else you got. Otherwise, we're going to call it a night. Nickel Boys and Brutalist 2, This is Cinema. Well, it feels like last year with Oppenheimer, we could be in the mix for another one of those this year. If you ask me right now tonight, without having seen these films, because remember, I'm going to wait. So a lot of these films I've got to get eyes on later. If you would have told me, a few months ago, I would have said Anora. But then when I watch Anora, I'm like, fuck no, Anora. That's movies. No chance. That doesn't mean it won't happen. I'm just telling you, if I'm a voter, there's no chance in hell I'm voting for Anora for anything. Not one thing except best song usage, and that is Take That's Beautiful Night, whatever the fuck song is, the remix. That's it. The best song usage. That's not an Oscar category. Well, that's a problem. I can't even recommend you for anything. So I need to get eyes on these films. So this year, when it comes down to forecasting and all that, for me, it's just going to be I'm behind. I mean, even behind on awards days. I'm now at the point where these films are turning me off so much that I'm so let down by the majority of the stuff that I'm watching that I'm losing interest. In the fact that I'm still doing a stream is a testament to my commitment to stay in the space and keep going. But at the end of the day, look what I'm doing. I'm watching movies down the street from me. I'm coming on, shooting the shit live, mostly hammering these things because they're bad, and then it's over. That's how I'm approaching this now. To put any more effort in for me is such a waste. It just isn't, because these films aren't worthy of that much work. To even drive 45 minutes one way in this town with traffic. Imagine going to screening tomorrow night. There will be people in the film Twitter space that will drive to some screening tomorrow night across town with all of the shit going on here. World Series, USC, concerts. You've got all kinds of shit happening here. You've probably seen it all over the place. I'm going to be right here. I'm going nowhere. But people are crazy. They're driving like 45 minutes, an hour, then an hour back to go watch a movie that comes out in 2 weeks, maybe a month, maybe two months, right? Brutalist. Who cares? Like, the thing is, I say this so often, and I'll leave it at this tonight, here's the reality. It makes no sense for these people who honestly have very little, if any, outlet, let alone an audience, to be driving an hour here, an hour there to go watch a movie 2 months early. You know why they do it? Because I saw it early. Like that's some kind of fucking prize. Good for you. Nobody cares. Okay, can I help you with that? Nobody cares. You think they do, and maybe you make yourself like your identity that, but at the end of the day, it's pretty fucking sad when you think about it. I drove an hour across town to go watch a movie. Aren't I cool? I flew over to a film festival to see a movie first because I have to weigh in. Do you really have to weigh in? Because no one's listening to you. Why are you bothering? Why do you do that? Because there's a lot of people whose whole identity is this. That's pretty sad. I got to be honest with you. Do not be tied into one identity. I've got 1,000. I'm not worried about this. This is one thing. Okay. I enjoy doing this, but ultimately you're not defined by one thing. And if you are, like a lot of people in this space, that's where you get in trouble. And I think that's the thing where you get an empty feeling. And I'm not going to get that. That's why I'm removing myself, giving myself distance from some of this shit, because ultimately these films are not worth it. I'm telling you guys, that'll change when I see something great, but it's not often. Substance, Handling the Undead this year for me. And there's been some others that I liked a lot, but those two popped to mind as two of the best. But overall, it's been a very disappointing year, and that's put it mildly, right? So I'm not looking forward to this year's awards films. That's why I'm just going to put them all on pause. I'll see you back here on Sunday night. Sunday morning, of course, box office show. And then Sunday night, we'll talk about Netflix getting screwed by Emerald Fennel. Says, no, I'm going to Warner Brothers. We love that. We started that. We're down for that. And then also Netflix, can they win a Best Picture? Hell no, not with a theatrical component. They don't have one. We're going to destroy them again on Sunday night. Until then, live from the City of Angels. Peace out. Thanks for being here. See you Sunday night. MMT is